Hello, thank you for joining me. I hope that this finds you well. Actually trying something different today. My son is getting into cards, and so I had him pick a deck, Alice in Wonderland, and draw a few cards. The deck is actually a little kind of hard to shuffle. They tend to clump and stick, and so I was like, well, go ahead and draw some cards. So he drew some cards, gonna go with it. And really, before I go into each of the cards, it's really about our journey, our personal journey. We are all on a journey, and what it looks like is very unique to each of us, And so when we step into our journey, we begin to step into recognizing that we are the creators of our experiences, of our lives, and how that looks, how we respond, and everything. And so the first card here is Such a Curious Dream. And it says grounding, returning to reality, coming home. And so I feel like this is probably going to lean more towards the grounding element. Because we do need to stay grounded as we're going along. Sometimes we can get caught up in what's ahead. We can get caught up in, the fantasy of life. We can get caught up into fears. We can get caught up into all of these other things. But when we bring in awareness, when we bring in that grounding, when we let ourselves be present, it changes. We're able to then be the active creators of what's next. And so this next one is Curiouser and Curiouser. And it says discovery, inquiry, weirdness, and curiosity. And so really I think this goes into just being curious about all of it, every step in ourselves, in our journey, and what we come across, what we experience, to be curious. But there's also an element here of embracing our own weirdness, embracing our own unique path. We are all different, and I think so often when we embark on this journey, especially the more you delve into spirituality, the more you delve into all of that, it's so easy to compare, especially to compare our experiences. I know I struggled with this in a lot of aspects in regards to meditation. I'm not visual. I don't see images when I close my eyes. So meditation for me was not like most people. I wasn't seeing myself in some lush forest, I didn't have that experience, and so I thought something was wrong with me. Am I broken or whatever? No, I just have a different experience, and that's okay. It doesn't lessen it. It doesn't make it, obsolete in any way. It's just different. And so when we embrace our uniqueness, when we embrace our weirdness, when we allow ourselves to be curious, then we're able to step out in a different way. And so this next one is the right way. It says learning to create what you desire. And I'm actually going to go into the next one, hot on its heels, because I think they read together. And it says follow your own good advice. Trust yourself. Know what is best for you. And so again, when we embrace kind of the curiosity of our journey, the curiosity of life, when we embrace our weirdness and our uniqueness, and we do that in a way where we begin to listen to ourselves to see what is right for me, what's the right way for me, how can I go about this in a way that is going to nourish me and bring me joy and really create the future that I want, create the life that I want, the experience that I want. And really not compare. We can't compare our journey to anyone else's. We may have similar experiences, but even in those similar experiences, our perceptions are all different. And so when we allow a curiosity within ourselves, to look at ourselves through a different lens, to be curious about, why am I this way? Why is this such a unique element of me? And, this is kind of neat, embrace that weirdness, embrace the difference, embrace that piece of you, and allow yourself to just continue to be curious, and look at, when you're facing something, before you that you're like, I'm not not sure, do I go this way? Do I go that way? How do I do this? Sit with it. Sit with it and ask yourself questions. Ask, okay, I have this option over here. I have this option over here. When I sit with this idea, how do I feel? What are my emotions? How are my emotions responding? What are my thoughts saying? How is my body responding? And take note of that, and then look at the next one and do the same thing. Be curious about yourself, about how you are responding mentally, emotionally, physically, and look at that path before you. And that's kind of how you determine what's the right way for you, because this way might seem great logically, but when you sit with it, it just doesn't feel right, and so when you allow yourself to see what feels right, then you can step out and move in that way that is right for you, and be able to create those experiences that you want and create that life that you want. And so being curious, being grounded is very important. Being present, being aware, being curious about how you work and how what's in front of you, what's the right way. Asking yourself, is this what feels right for me? Is this what feels right for me? How do I want to move? And so then following your own good advice, be able to listen to your own heart above the voices of everything else around you. It's so easy for us to grab hold of what everyone else is saying, what the experts say, or anything like that. We kind of ignore what our own hearts are saying, what our own intuition says, what our own gut is saying, and learning to really step into trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, trusting your own heart can be quite a journey, especially for those of us who have lived most of our lives in survival mode. You don't trust anything. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust anyone else. And so that's hard. And so learning to trust yourself really is an exploration of curiosity. Being able to be curious about you, curious about how you look at things, what you're feeling about it, and all of that. And really looking at, okay, what are these options? How do I feel about them? What do I think about them? What really feels right in my heart? And when we do that, and the more we embrace that, the more we practice listening to ourselves over everything else outside of us, then we begin to experience life in a whole new way. It feels so liberating. It feels so free. We don't feel caged or boxed in, because you're not placing all those external expectations on yourself. You're allowing yourself to let those go. And even if that's a scary thought for you, sit with it and be curious. This is why I'm a huge advocate of journaling. Sit down with a pen and paper and ask yourself, okay, this is what logically makes sense. This is how I feel about it. What are some other options? What are some other ways to look at this? What are some other ways to go about this? And just be willing to sit with the questions, allow yourself to come up with ideas and responses, no matter how outlandish they might be. That sense of curiosity and digging into it can really help open up your mind to be able to see differently. And it allows you that space too, to allow your heart to have a voice, to allow your heart to say, hey, this is what I think. This is what I feel, and this is what I believe is right for us. When we allow that to come up, when we allow that to have a voice and have space through our curiosity, it is amazing what opens up, and so learn how to listen to yourself. Your voice is worthy, your voice is valid, your heart is here on purpose. Embrace your uniqueness. You don't have to do it like anyone else. You don't have to be like everyone else. You don't have to do things the way that is dictated in some book. Be you. Your heart is your compass, and your heart will always point to the true north. And when you settle into it, that is where you find your way. your path, your life, and it's a grand discovery. So embrace that. Be curious into yourself, into your own heart, into your life, into your options, listening to all of those aspects of yourself. This is your journey, no one else's. And so embrace it, enjoy it, love it, let it go where it will, without all the fear, without all the doubt. This journey is for you, and we can explore life like Alice in Wonderland, being curious and in wonder and awe, and will we face challenges? Yes. But our perception of them and how we choose to look at them can change everything. We just have to allow ourselves that space to do so. And that is where that curiosity comes in. So I hope you got something useful out of that. And thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing journey and are curious with yourself and is willing to really listen to your own heart, because it is worthy. It is worthy. Thank you.